Have you ever heard of a movie that allegedly had a darker, secret version that briefly leaked and then vanished? Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Allie.
And I'm Brianne.
I am like 3 coffees in and buzzing. Today's got that spooky nerd energy, you know?
I'm feeling fine, mildly concerned that your heart will astral project without you if you keep drinking like that.
Welcome to the Veil, unsolved and unbelievable.
Welcome.
Okay, so check this out. Today we're diving into the conspiracy around a supposed alternate cut of Insidious, Out of the Further. Some fans call it the Bleeding World cut. I know, big claim.
Wait. A whole film cut that leaked and then evaporated into the ether? I call BS already, but do carry on.
Here's the deal. Quick primer for anyone who didn't see it yet. Insidious, Out of the Further is the 6th one, the sequel to The Red Door from 2023. Jacob Chase wrote and directed it. He has sole screenplay credit and shares story credit with David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick. It dropped in the US in late August 2026 after premiering at the Grove. The premise centers on Gemma Hall, played by Amelia Eve. She's a working mom, dental hygienist, and, plot twist, a rare astral projector called a courier. Couriers can haul things across the line, not just visit the further. We're talking transporting actual objects between realms. Later she pushes it to, an entire house. Isn't that bananas?
Moving house has never sounded more literal. Sorry, not sorry.
Gemma's boyfriend Nick, Brandon Perea, is the skeptic cop type who ends up helping investigate the creepy neighbors. Claire, played by Maisie Richardson Sellers, runs a tattoo shop called Abandon and is an astral projector too. She's key because Elise Rainier, Lynn Shay, queen of the franchise, can basically hop into living people to help. Yes, possession, but the good kind. She uses Claire and later even Lester to save Gemma's daughter Maya. The big bad is Cyrus Lamb, played by Sam Spruill, blindfolded cult leader. He built his cult inside the further, promising resurrection. To pull this off, his elderly acolytes on our side sedate themselves to project and do recon, which is very clinical and creepy. There's a VHS tape reveal of his doctrine, so it leans into that analog horror aesthetic. Fuzzy hiss, jitter, all that.
Creepy old neighbours and sedatives. Conspiracy alert. Though yes, the farmer meets a cult angle is good horror psychology.
They use the red door again. It's a trap. A prison attempt for Cyrus. Also, you get returning franchise nasties. The lipstick face demon, the bride in black, the man who can't breathe, and Keyface, mostly as dread cameos. Joseph Bishara scores it again. Love the strings that feel like razor wire. And he appears as Lipstick Face Demon, which is such a wild double duty. They shot it in Victoria, Australia. Dockland Studios in suburbs like Camberwell, Essendon, Kensington, doubling as New England. Release-wise, Sony put it out. Critics were mixed. Some thought it improved on The Red Door. Though that's subjective, obviously. Cinema score landed at a C+, which matched the last one. And there's a mid-credits scene. Cyrus strapped to a dental chair in the further, Drill screaming, which people debate whether it's set up or just grim poetic justice.
So far, so standard horror sequel. Where's your vanishing cut nonsense come in?
Okay, next up. There's this fringe theory floating around. Some fans swear there was an earlier, darker cut still titled Insidious: The Bleeding World. That title was reported in December 2025, and then in April 2026, the official title switched to Out of the Further. People like me think the pivot wasn't just marketing, it reflected a reframed edit. And yeah, I kinda buy it.
You kind of buy everything with a red door on it.
Hear me out. The release date was yanked from August 29th, 2025, with no public reason. Then the film re-emerged in 2026. That gap is prime re-edit territory. And premiere nights are where DCP weirdness shows up. Allegedly, and this is the spine tingler, someone who worked overnights at AMC The Grove 14 says 2 drives came in. One marked OOTF V5 FTR, normal. Another slimmer one with old tape under the label reading TBW_final 6K. Bleeding World, basically.
Or someone reused an older case because humans. So let me get this straight, secret drives are now proof of ghosts?
Not proof, but it lines up with something else. The story says a file flagged during ingest, red door lock T, hung at 98%. When they QC'd, the slate hiccuped and flashed a corridor with ankle-deep water. Then, snap, gone. Later, during the actual premiere, there was a 4-frame splice. A dental chair and a drill scream banded straight into Bishara's strings. The audience flinched. It felt like a temp mix ghosted into the final.
Ghost in the codec sounds cool, but also sounds like a glitch, which happens a lot.
Right, totally. But the projectionist says after the crowd left, the logs showed red door lock alt present but unused in the playlist. They scrubbed low-quality proxies and swear they saw Gemma not just moving the house, but a slice of the entire block into the further. And the skyline outside didn't look like New England. It looked like Melbourne peeking through. Like a longer, wilder sequence got trimmed and a few frames slipped the net.
Someone saw set photos and then their brain did the rest. Memory is squishy, recall is not a blueprint.
There's more. The same source says they flew to Camberwell and found a street neighbors said got drenched for one night. Water rigs, squeegees at dawn, that sort of thing. Plus, 2 elderly locals reportedly dosing around that time. For dreams. Which, matches the film's acolyte method. It's anecdotal, sure, but it vibes with what Bleeding World believers claim. A cut where the red door plan fails harder, the breach stays open longer, and Elise's possession tactics run more morally grey.
Love a travelogue as much as the next person, but we're still in rumourland. Give me actual receipts, not watery streets and vibes.
Back to the facts. We do know the title pivot happened. Bleeding World name reported in December 2025. Then Out of the Further became official in April 2026. Studios routinely prep multiple DCPs, some with tags, some without. Bishara's score blurs diegetic and non-diegetic, meaning alt audio can hide in the sound bed. And that mid-credits dentist torture scene? Some folks think it was grafted on to imply closure after a darker ending. Thematically, the film loves analog artifacts, the VHS especially. So anomalies feel at home.
Let's move on to reality. April 2026, the title is publicly locked. Jacob Chase gets sole screenplay credit with shared story credit, so not exactly a battleground of dueling cuts. Principal photography ran roughly 6 weeks and wrapped in November 2025. Brisk shoot, streamlined post. Critics mention pacing and familiar jump scare rhythms, not the Franken-cut scars you get when you rip out a third act. Cinema score at C+, same as the prior entry, just screams franchise steady state, not chaos. Schedule changes, very common. Sometimes it's strategy, sometimes it's effects. Rarely is it a secret doom edit. And if a truly different cut existed, we'd expect hard traces. Ratings board, alternate listings, runtime discrepancies across markets, leaked EDLs. None of that surfaced.
Sure, but studios also bury things well. Test screenings can trigger surgical changes. You snip a minute here, a stinger there, and regular viewers just feel a weird rhythm. We've both seen films with leftover temp shots and stray frames. If the Grove crowd twitched at a drill shriek baked under the score, that's the kind of residue a fast conform can leave.
And alternatively, it's exactly the sort of psychoacoustic jolt Bishara loves to use. You don't need a hidden cut if the sound mix is designed to make you jump out of your seat.
Okay, fair. But look at the content. Gemma as a courier pushing an entire house into the further. Cyrus's cult running pharmacological projections. The red door as a trap that doesn't fully take. The movie already flirts with a bigger breach. I think there was a darker assembly, call it Bleeding World, that kept the wound open longer. Then it got tightened for brand clarity. Maybe that's just me, but I'm not alone.
And I think it's marketing and muscle memory. Further is brand language. It sells. Bleeding World is cool poetry, not a franchise keyword. The point is, without hard evidence, it's campfire lore. Good campfire lore, to be fair.
Here's the big question, though. If the film is about crossing and moving boundaries, do alternate cuts count as alternate realities? Like, somewhere a version exists where the breach never closed. Does that change how we feel about the real ending we saw?
Only if I can astral project to a timeline where my popcorn wasn't $8. But yes, interesting thought.
If you want to dig into how edits shape what we think we saw, check out The Cutting Edge, The Magic of Movie Editing. Also, Side by Side is great on digital versus film workflows. Super relevant to how multiple versions can circulate late in post.
Yes, proper homework. Learn the craft, then judge the ghosts.
All right, moving on. I'm going to spend my afternoon scrubbing through my notes and probably watching that mid-credits scene again because I, hate dental drills and love them in horror. Can you imagine?
I've got a grocery run and, hilariously, a dentist reminder on my phone for next week. If I hear a drill in the further, I'm rescheduling.
Thanks for hanging with us. Keep your eyes open, your mind's curious, and maybe double-check the labels on your hard drives.
Question everything, even the end credits. We'll catch you next time.